Hey everyone, it's Steve Orlando, formerly of DC Comics, Wonder Woman, Midnighter, Justice League of America, Supergirl, and of course Martian Manhunter, my favorite work there, and now of Image Comics, Commanders in Crisis, Aftershock, Kill-A-Man, Dead Kings, and even more to come, and last but not least, Marvel Comics, Planet of the Symbiotes, Curse of the Man-Thing, and even more, as I said, that's coming in 2021. Thanks for taking some time to watch this video. I want to talk to you guys today a little bit about my own journey as a creator and what I wish I knew sooner. A lot of us like to talk about what works for us now, and we like to talk about how we broke into comics. I'll give you the very quick version of that, a lot of work. I started going to Comic-Cons when I was 12 years old, and from that time I would take sample scripts and then eventually 5 to 10 pages of comics that I'd completed with collaborators, and I would meet other pros. I would meet editors at DC and Marvel Comics, and I would try to get their thoughts on those books. And they were oftentimes very harsh. You know, when you're 12, you're not necessarily ready to go. We're not all Jim Shooter. So, nor would all of us want to be. So I would take those criticisms and I would grumble about it, and then about a week later I would go back and read them and I would get to work, taking them to heart and making my work better, making it more professional. And the first key to that was finding folks whose work I respected, who I trusted had my best interests at heart, and who I didn't think were just trying to put me down. And when I found those, in my case, it was folks like Steve Siegel, who you might know from his X-Men run of the 90s, or from co-creating Ben 10 with the folks at Man of Action. Every year I would go back to him, in this case at San Diego Comic-Con. He would look at the work that I'd created in the past year, tell me what was good for a little bit, and then tell me what could be better for a lot longer. And that's what I really valued. I kept doing that. I never stopped. I could have quit every year, but I'm too stubborn. And finally, almost 20 years later, when I was 28, I finally gave him something that he thought was publishable, and sure enough, he put it in the hands of the folks at Image Comics, and that became my first book, Undertow, which began production around 2014 and came out 2015. That's the very short version, but all I want to say about that is you are answerable in breaking into comics only to yourself. You can work hard and think that you can't work hard anymore and still not make it, but it could always be the next week that you will. So don't be discouraged. Take it from me. There's plenty of people that got in very quickly. There's plenty of people that got in atypical ways. My way was very typical. It was 2 decades of hard work. And yeah, of course I wanted to quit. Many times. And of course, other people in my life told me to quit. You know, comics is a job that many people don't think still exists. So you can't let that hold you back. When you're in the creative field, or any creative field, a lot of folks are going to say that it's not worthwhile or it's not attainable. You know, if you want to work at Marvel or DC, there's fewer spots on those rosters than there are in the New York Yankees. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. I'm here to say that. Through middle school, through high school, through college, and through almost 10 years of a day job working totally unrelated to creative in wine retail, I was still making books, I was still using my time off to go to shows, I was networking, and finally, the right place, the right amount of talent, the right time, that happened. Happened with Image, happened with DC Comics, with my first work there, Midnighter, which I was in the door for because of my work at Image. And that just goes to show, if I had stopped a month before, if I had stopped 6 months before, that time never would have come. Maybe it would have been 3 years later if circumstances were different, but I can't predict that. What I can say is it could always be 1 week ahead of where you think it's finally over. So never let yourself think that. Keep getting better. Keep taking constructive criticism, worthwhile criticism, and make professional work. It's not going to be the first thing. It might not even be the 50th thing you do, but it is possible. It happened to me, and it's happened to a lot of folks. And I know at times it can seem daunting, but even if a door closes 1,000 times, on the 1,001st time, you can be in, and from there you can launch even further up the ladder.